We should be live again now.
All right.
Hello,
Are we live?
everyone.
Welcome
Shall
back,
we
everyone.
say, are we
It-
Ghost League?
oh my god. Well, Savitar, if you want to take those 2 points of thanks, you're welcome to. I ain't gonna stop you.
Sure, that sounds fun.
Cool. All right.
Uh-oh.
Just has to keep playing with fire.
My shadow is my best friend, okay?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
no, that, let me check to see if I'm about to say the correct things or not. Please proceed onward. You were saying something.
Okay. Savitar, it is time to spend experience.
Great. I will buy the relic that you mentioned.
I'm going to say that it feels like a 2 point because it lets you get around, but it's not like a bicycle, so it's
Oh,
more
the
like
skateboard.
yeah, it's like minor maneuverability.
I can
It's
do sick kick flips with it,
you
man.
can do yes, you can, and if you can think of a fun minor ability to add on to it, run it by me.
Can I just never wipe out on it?
You can't. It has botch resistance.
Yes, it has botch resistance. That sounds awesome.
I think I would let you ignore the first one that you roll while skateboarding.
Sounds great.
I need to see how much that's going to cost you.
Hopefully
There,
not. Go ahead.
50 experience points. No.
I'm sorry, 50? You're kidding, right?
I am kidding you.
Okay,
Yes, I am
thank
actually
God.
kidding you.
Thank
Why would you think
you know
I,
because I'm insane.
do I just
It's
have one of those
because
voices where people think I'm serious no matter what?
it's because Emilia is a hard meter.
No, that's the Thursday game, but
I'm not even on the Thursday game.
okay.
I am.
Where's strengthening backgrounds? What do they charge of these?
I think it's
That's
times 2.
special.
Oh, it might be special, yeah.
What the heck? They charge way too much for that. That's ridiculous. I feel like no, I'm not gonna charge that much for background. I'm not gonna charge as much as a freaking Arkanoid dot for a Hmm. You can just pay 2 experience points for it.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, our benevolent storyteller.
Something for me to revisit down the road. Are you buying anything with your XP?
Yes, I have bought Fatalism 4.
Oh boy.
My third eye is opening.
I see. I let my players have a little bit of experience points, a little bit of a breaking my game.
No, that'll be when we get like, I don't know what's it. There's actually no game breaking Arcanoid.
That is something they actually point out, that they say, hey, look, if your players get a bunch of discounts on Arkanoid, who cares? That's not going to solve their main problems of being ghosts.
That is correct, but I have been looking forward to getting Fatalism 5 since the day I realized I'm going to be playing this game. So that's what I've been working toward.
Okay. Before we jump into tonight's adventure, does anybody have any thing that they want to go over? either for the setting or their characters or the rules, now that we've had a story to play through?
Nope.
I'm good.
What's
I cannot
today's
think of
date in the
anything.
game?
Today's date in the game is March 19th.
Okay.
It's been a couple of weeks since your first adventure. Sounds like we're ready to begin. All right, folks. So, welcome to our second story. Today's session is called Dead Colors. I'm going to open with a question for Aaron. Tell me about how you make the theater a safe place for Millie.
Oh, Millie.
And you know what? Before we do that, I want to know a little bit about the theater in general. So I feel like that's putting some pressure on you that first needs to be split between the group. The first scene is going to take place at your guys' theater. So tell me, what is it about the theater that each of you contributes that adds a personal touch to what would otherwise be a burned down, desiccated corpse of a once glorious structure? This can be in the physical world, in the Skinlands, or the Shadowlands.
I guess we can you clarify real quick whether there's any special dispensation for children be able to see their guardian angels, or if they're still subject to the fog and such?
Animals and very young children have a heightened sensitivity towards the supernatural and resistance towards the fog. In particular, cats do not like ghosts.
Huh.
What about the children we have in the theater? The runaway
Sure.
kids, I assume.
Probably not. I assume that they mean
No?
like toddlers, kindergartners, maybe. But Millie's 18 years old. She's not going to have any special resistance.
No chance
However-
for Erin to have Millie be 18 months old.
I think that would change a lot of the
I guess the plot would change quite a lot.
Millie's at the clubs, 18 months old.
All right, of course.
Yes, let me raise this small child from beyond the grave. I mean, honestly, that could be an interesting character, but I'm not playing it.
There was a Jungle Book. Was that Kaiman? Graveyard
Neil
Book?
Gaiman, yes.
The Graveyard Book. Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%. Like, okay, fair enough.
He gets a
Yeah.
hellhound or a nanny. That was fun.
Oh, there is an anime too where the kid's raised by like 3 undead. Faraway Paladin. It's like
Yes,
a
yes,
mummy,
yes,
a
those are
skeleton,
brothers.
and a ghost that raise him.
It's great. It's great, except for the part where the mummy has to do a painful ritual every day to create bread. I'm like, just go to a market.
Are you saying that getting bread isn't painful sometimes?
God damn it.
Irene, I don't know. I will not interfere with your love life in any way, but no, getting bread should not be painful. You do you, Irene, but nope, leave that out there.
I mean, it's not like there's a market anywhere near there.
The market's right
Sorry,
here.
my wave is showing.
Anyways, sorry, I got distracted. What were we talking about? Oh, right, the theater. I think
Yeah.
my answer is easy. There's lots of like just little probably like because Rain doesn't want to give it away that that's who's watching over Millie, right? Like Rain doesn't want her to know that they're dead. So it's probably like some of his how I misgendered myself. There's one on the
My
counter.
God.
There's some of their art, like early stuff, like just like tags and smaller pieces, but not like their fully matured artwork that she would know.
How does this tie into? Okay, so Millie does not know that you are a ghost.
I would hope not. That would humans like knowing about ghosts is bad typically.
Tell that to Orpheus Group.
Oh.
Harumph. No, that so I was answering the second question about what personal touches I've added to the theater.
Yes.
That is my personal touch. That is a separate answer from how I make sure Millie is safe. But I presumably she does not know Rain is dead because Rain's body never turned up, because it would be bad if a body that had been clearly savaged by a werewolf turned up. That would be bad.
We're gonna come back around to that then. So,
Okay.
but there's your graffiti is around the theater.
Yes.
Okay. Al.
Yes. I've been trying to think of what mere particular skill sets would allow them to make this work. So it would probably be child-proofing things to make sure that there are like there's no rotten wooden boards and such, but ways for people to come to harm that we don't want to come to harm. But as for personal touch and how this theater is a good place to live, I'm thinking about doing favors so that the lights, the spotlights and such in the theater still works, and there might be like little once again stickers or characters or that kind of thing placed on the light so that it can shine down into and create uh, uh shadow shapes like bunnies or little Batmans and such.
I am
Basically, just
imagining a
the bat
Resident
signal,
Evil
but
character running through the place and like, I've got to find the generator.
maybe.
What is the age range of the kids who find their way to this place?
That is a very good question. My assumption had been as low as kids can still take care of them, so like 3 to 4. But I don't know how what the rest of the group think. What do you guys think?
Um, I don't have a preference, to be honest. I do think because of some of our lines and veils, we should be careful about what age we have there in case violence breaks out.
That's fair.
I will assume that should violence breaks out, that the jinxing of the place will keep kids away from harm one way or the other.
Sounds good.
That's fair. I'll say that due to Mir's very specific, I want to make sure kids fed a lot of candies and have a great time. They would be oriented toward taking care of like 3 to around 10 years old. Not to say that people who are older than 10 couldn't get and shouldn't doesn't deserve a whole bunch of free candies. But yeah, that's just what was on my mind.
Just imagining there's like this 16-year-old who's causing a mess, and you're like, it's like, kids who throw tantrums don't get chocolate chip cookies.
I mean, that's so far our Red Cruise has not done anything to deserve being denied scholarship cookies.
I don't know.
But that
Speaking
could
as a
still
brat, I
change.
tend to get whatever I want when I act bratty. Just saying.
I think that would enter into very close to being PvP territory.
This is how my game dies. The two player characters want to be brats and they can't.
Oh no.
I mean, that's what happens when the storyteller is like that too. And you have made a mistake inviting me. I'm sorry.
Blaze, would you kindly save us?
All right. So I don't know the lower age, but I think that the upper age is actually like 21 or 22.
Okay.
because along with the like literal kids, it's also the place you can go if you get kicked out of your home because you're queer and your parents don't like that.
Hmm.
So there's a fairly wide range of people who are trying to get back on their feet after getting kicked out. And Bryce is in charge of like the what remains of the dressing rooms. So there's like lockers and old showers that have been turned into storage. So that way anyone that got kicked out with like a duffel bag of clothes has someplace safe to store them.
Oh, nice.
I like that. That's really good.
And Bryce in particular gets kind of shows himself around the theater in places as like a person that's walking down a hallway or something to help tip people out about where things are when they're just getting there and are desperate for help, as there is a little plaque of Bryce's face as a little memorial for, you know, him dying in the theater fire some 10 years back.
They're thinking,
There's
oh, this is the...
there's a little urban legend
Yeah,
situation
that
going
Bryce
on
is
with
still
Bryce
around
being
walking around the theater.
if you say his name 3 times in front of mirror, he'll come and help you pack your things. Or
are
he'll
you
go
calling
back to get something that you forgot to bring and it's important in your house.
are you calling that a some aspect of an habit, or are you thinking that's just a quirk of the theater where
I was going to
kids
go with it's part
occasionally...
of the haunt.
Okay. That's cool with me.
Yeah,
Ooh.
so it's part of the defenses of the theater. If it's a kid that sees it, the shadow of Bryce will help them. But if it's an adult, then you get the, oh, what was that noise? There's suddenly a person that's at the end of the hallway, and oh, what's that in their hands?
Oh god. Turns all shiny.
Yep. I mean, he's a
Are-
theater ghost. Those things can be pretty.
I see now. So your guys' haunt is basically Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends meets The Shining.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Hell yeah.
That's good. And they say changelings have all the fun. All right, so Erin, tell me what, if anything, Millie knows about her personal guardian angel.
Really?
Probably as little as possible. Um, I don't think Rain directly has intervened, like unless you want me to have. But I don't think there's probably any a moment where it's been overt. Like for example, I think what Rain did with the keyboard is probably the outlier, not typical. So I think this Rain does subtle stuff like will take money from some of the corporate interests, like with Embody, and then slip it into her, clothes. If her shit's getting raggedy, they'll use flux to like reinforce them. Small stuff like that, uh, but nothing too wild yet, and big italicized yet.
Players are just going to wait until they all get to 5 dots and where their Arcanoi are, and then say the adventure is about us having 5 dots in our Arcanoi now.
Yes.
Honestly, Embody 5 is fine. I can do the same thing at 4 though. I just look like I'm a corpse.
Yes, I mean, I think there are certain advantages to looking exactly like yourself as opposed to looking like a horror show. Okay. So then she has an idea that she has a guardian angel and that the place is haunted, but views it as generally benevolent. She's not aware of a rain. She just assumes that it's the guardian angel of the theater looking out for her, and in her current life situation, she'll take whatever help she can get. So, what are all of you doing here at the theater this fine Tuesday?
Wait, I don't think I got to add a thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, Savitar. Go for it.
Okay, cool. I'm very proud of this one. I'm going to add mood music. It's going to have the same kind of, so it's going to be a very low key, almost droney, shoegazy. I'm sure that word means someone to someone watching this, something to someone watching this. It's gonna be a very shoegazy, like no vocals, just guitar track that is perpetually playing in the background. It is actually not a composition you can find anywhere in the Skinlands. It is a composition which Dora, for as long as you've known her, has been working on consistently, like just every few days she like sits down and adds like 15 more minutes to what has become, like, over the past few years, like a 10, 11, 12 hour long composition. um whenever you ask her about it, you cannot remember the conversation that happens afterwards.
Dora's that person where, when she invites you over to her home, she insists upon showing you her novel.
Yes, yes, and it is a massive and like insane novel that has absolutely no reference point to any literature that has ever been published previously.
Dara, this
Um,
should be a 4-book affair, so is it 1 book?
but it does have the same effect that Bryce's has, where like if someone comes like looking for like comfort, like they will hear this music playing in the background and find it comforting. If someone comes looking for a fight, they will find it like relaxing and like dissuading. Like it promotes like basically low key positive emotions. With that,
See, but now I'm imagining that Rain manifests in front of somebody, and as they do so, the Final Fantasy VI fight theme begins to play in the background.
also, yes, if I'm not currently centered on my camera, it's because I'm moving around.
Yeah. I will say that life and death makes me appear as my mortal self, not my wraith self. So if I use level 4 embody, I look like I did in life, but hotter apparently. It's very specific that you are more attractive now.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is.
Your
It is.
idealized
So
form.
the wording is so funny on it. All right. This manifestation's appearance is subject to the vagaries of memory and cell bodization, so minor imperfections are washed away. As darker hair, paler skin than the living original tends to be more attractive. Just
Oh,
randomly inserts
no.
that in there. Like, hey, you get a little bit hotter even though you look like a corpse and don't breathe.
Hey, good to know. I mean, that tracks with like Corpse Bride,
Vampire.
Tim Burton's Corpse Bride.
That is true.
Mine,
She is pretty hot despite being a corpse, yeah.
I read that too. I think the intention overall is that you look like yourself, except you don't look like a character out of the book of Wraith.
Yeah.
So you're
Which
not
is
weird.
very important.
Yeah, you're not stretched. You don't have death marks. But importantly, what I want to get across is like, let's say that Dora or Rain use embody to appear. They do not detransition when they embody.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. I was saying the more inhuman aspects of Rain would not manifest when I use a body on the other side.
Yes, that's not a great moth. You are less of a great moth witch, I think.
Do we actually know what Rain looks like without her Mudwish?
Hey, there's one.
Crap.
No,
Yeah.
that's two. You started it today.
I did he actually. I went the other direction.
Do we actually know what they look like when they are not Starlight?
Because I have was probably known in life for art. It is possible if you knew me in life, then of course you know what I look like. If you didn't know me in life, then like there's no resemblance between the two of us.
So, what brings all of you here today? Are you just hanging out? You guys planning something?
Dora is working on her giant ass shoegaze composition. She's been at this for about 6 hours so far and seems positively obsessed.
Could you put the spelling of that in the Twitch chat? I want to look that up.
Shoegaze?
Shugazi. It's literally the word shoe and the word gaze. You are gazing at your shoes.
As you play the guitar.
Yes.
Okay.
If you have any dots of empathy whatsoever, you will immediately pick up on the fact that Dora desperately needs something to do. Anything, please.
Oh, she'll be getting it soon enough.
Oh boy.
Is Millie in the room with us?
Not yet, but she will be joining you all momentarily. That is what will be starting off our scene. So I'm asking, what are you doing here in the meantime?
Okay. I guess Mia is indulging in record keeping. Or I don't suppose there are a lot of notebooks in relics around, are there?
But
I
I would
mean-
assume that there are a lot of people die and have like beloved journals.
Okay,
I'm-
so I guess they are just using some piece of papers to write down a bit of a relationship with remembering and going through the names of people they have met and their current states, given the recent it sounds weird in my mind, so I'm just gonna say it. And Brace laugh if it actually is weird. The recent coupling of Federico and Avery. By which I mean they just become a couple,
Aw.
I think.
So you're journaling about that?
Yeah. Just
Okay.
writing down what Mia remembers and what the people they remember are like
Tracking
now.
down all her kids.
Yeah, basically.
Aw. So sweet.
Bryce. Oh, sorry. Oh, Bryce would have just gotten back from his long day at the Citadel offices doing paperwork and things. So he'd be stretching out and starting to relax after dealing with bureaucracy and paperwork.
Zachariah was, checked in on you, and he was very glad that you're okay. Because he got very concerned when you guys came around asking about like what interest in Megacorps have in Roosevelt Road. He's like, I don't know. What's wrong with my city?
Do we know about the the werewolf association, or is that only Rain right now? Has that been told to us?
I think we
That's up
know
to
that
Rain.
werewolves are a thing, but I don't think we know anything beyond that.
Whether you know werewolves are a thing would likely be up to Dora. Not Dora, Rain in this case.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
I don't think
Do we know?
I don't think Rain has mentioned that connection because it is a flaw. Uh, it is a bad thing that Rain is doing with Matea.
Hmm.
As far, I mean, my death marks are readily visible. I have clearly been mauled by some large animal, so that probably has come up. That has probably come up.
Was Rain implying, or rather, was Cthulhu implying that there are more death marks in terms of like fang marks or paw marks new ones appearing on Rain's
No,
corpus?
that is not what I'm implying. I'm implying that how I died was by a werewolf.
All right, so no play cookies.
No.
Oh, Bryce has an academic knowledge of the subject by reference, where he's looked at the dictum mortem and like had like water cooler conversations about it, and it's like, yeah, don't mess with like vampires and werewolves or aliens.
Wait, there's an alien?
Yeah, very recently also did look at
Which
some
book is
dictum
the
mortem.
alien
They're a
X
mage.
pack?
They're in
Fair.
Mage, and they are
Hang
also
on.
in Changeling.
They
Actually,
are
I'd,
some kids of
Oh.
Shelling Challenge.
I'd really like to have fun with this.
Hmm?
So Dora knows what Dora knows, but Dora also claims to know some of the craziest shit you can possibly imagine. Because she's got Enigmas 3, which is enough to make up some pretty spicy stuff.
Why did our god really lost the election in the 2000s?
Yes.
So what did Dora say to our nice little
That depends on whether Aaron is there. Sorry, not Aaron. Aaron's character, who does
Rain.
not have their
Oh,
Rain.
sorry.
Yes, thank you. I was having a bit of a moment there. Thank you.
Yep.
Rain is there to correct her. If Rain is around, Dora will keep her mouth shut about the werewolves. If not, oh boy, it's time for you to hear about the magic trees.
Dora's gonna gonna act like Cliff Clavin from Cheers over here.
Yes. Dora is Cliff Clavin, but like a hot Mexican girl.
If Cliff Clavin was a hot Mexican girl, this episode of Community Spirits.
I'm glad she is still getting work.
Because this is what we're telling to the. It's Archon. I'm forgetting names right now.
Anacreon.
Anacreon. Yeah, this is gonna be our Anacreon report. So like, how wild are we gonna let it be?
Oh, I mean, if this is for the Anacreon report, we should keep things like the very, very bare minimum. Because Dora also has Politics 1, and I think that's enough for her to know how to operate in a bureaucracy. And the key to operating in a bureaucracy is don't say anything more than you absolutely need to keep your job.
Yes, make sure all of your T's are crossed and the I's dotted, and
And
that's
your ass
it.
is covered.
Here is enough information that they will be happy and not ask questions. Goodbye.
Mir
Zachariah's like,
has-
I don't need Mir's 30-page supplement of Federico
Mir
and
has
Avery erotica.
absolutely no. But I wrote it for you. Mir also has absolutely no dots in bureaucracy and a predilection toward thinking that law and order in the US is okay.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Literally no one else in the circle's experience.
Mir's like, I can trust the cops with anything.
Oh no.
He said, being shot.
I mean, Mir is like a 1960s or 50s ghost, so.
No,
Mir
she's
is
not that.
the-
She's not that old. Yeah. Also, good point, Al. She died because a cop shot her.
She did die because I shot her. No, the thing is, Mir had a terrible life before she immigrated with her family. So, this is as far in her specific sphere of reference. This is better than where she was, and she never had a chance to see how it goes wrong in a different way to have a bad feeling about it because he got shot first and died. But yeah.
Wait, so because she hasn't seen anybody have a positive experience with cops, she
No, I
thinks
mean,
cops are what?
no, not even that she thinks cops are good, but she thinks that
They're better than the Service or whatever from whatever country she's from. People aren't getting disappeared off the streets.
I
Is that
mean,
what
it's
you're getting
more
at?
that
honestly,
it's more that
don't get yeah.
she has the thought that all right, I want to get out of where I was currently in, and now I've got to the better place, so this better place better be better.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, a cab, but KGB worse.
I want to challenge that slightly, because is it worse to be disappeared or is it worse to be able to openly execute people and no one gives a fuck?
You know, that is a really good question.
I think that is a
People who have
terrible
lived
choice.
under the KGB have generally like been pretty split on that question actually.
I
So
am
I don't
rapidly
even.
gaining angst.
You're gaining IRL angst.
IRL angst, yes. So
Moving
now that we
on.
have an idea of what you're all doing here, I'm sorry, Aaron, what did you say Rain is doing?
I didn't actually. I think Rain is busy deciding what their next big not composition. That's Dora's thing. I mean, I guess art still is composition too. But their next big piece, what the next thing they're gonna spray somewhere is.
Okay. You are studying one of the walls. You gradually realize that you are not alone. When you come out of your revelry, you hear a voice behind you saying, "Oh, that's a cool costume."
Rain kind of glances behind them.
See Millie, she is staring at you. She has a odd look in her eye.
Uh, it's hard to see this, but Rain's eyes widen inside the skull that is their
Okay.
face.
The skull goes up a bit.
That gives me
No,
a
it's
cool
more it's more
idea.
like you can see the eyes, but in the skull, but like they're sunken in.
Okay.
This gives me a cool idea for a tattoo. She is way more chill than you're used to seeing.
I would like to use life sight on her, please, and thank you.
You are welcome.
The roll. I think it's perception alertness. Check life sight. Search for document.
Is life sight and death sight use the same roll?
No. Life sight is
Interesting.
perception plus empathy. Death sight is perception plus awareness.
Huh.
Oh, actually, okay. No, I'm gonna probably use both on her eventually. But to note, if you want to check out people's health or weak points, you use death sight, not life sight.
Good to
Life
know.
sight's to read their emotions specifically
Yeah,
and
it
their
is.
mental state.
Forgot about that.
Okay, so I am going to do life sight first, which is perception plus empathy. I should have raised my perception or my empathy. Probably empathy. I'm going to go ahead and spend a willpower too.
I like to imagine
Five
that
successes.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
Hell
You
yeah.
wrote life sight, you meant death sight, right?
No, I'm doing life sight first. I want to know mood, health, like current health, not like what's wrong with her. I want to know mood. Hold on, what's the whole thing it does? Current health, mood, and state of mind.
Okay, and so I'm getting confused about the health part because I thought that was purely death sight.
So
What is the
death
difference between
sights
the
to
health
X.
we learn?
Okay. Spot weak points and determine how much health a living being has. Whereas life sight says current health. I don't know what the difference is there. I'm assuming
would-
I'm assuming it means like if they're wounded or not, and life sight just says here's what their total health typically could be. I don't know, one of the two. I don't know. You make
I'll
a
make a
ruling on
judgment
it.
call for today and then figure it
Yeah.
out more detail later on.
I assume just poor writing is what happened here.
How dare you suggest such a thing? Her thoughts are confused. Millie is She is unnaturally sedate, and also experiencing a kind of low-key euphoria.
So, like, she might have been drugged, perhaps.
Yes, that is a logical conclusion.
Oh shit.
She is not recognizing that she's not fully appreciating the weirdness of what she is looking at right now. To her, it's kind of like looking at a dream. And you also get the vibe that she was actually kind of expecting something like this, not you specifically. She seems to just. She is looking at you like you are a cool piece of art she saw on a First Friday walk.
Cool. Second
You
test
are a
then.
passing fancy.
Cool. Second test, I'm going to reach out and touch her, not using any powers.
Okay. You attempt to contact her and you feel the typical resistance that ghosts
Great.
experience.
Okay, that has eliminated a lot of very good things, or very bad things rather. Like the notion that someone drug her to the underworld alive has been removed from the equation.
And I'm not sure the alternative is any better.
It's not great, but it is better than you have been brought to the underworld as a living person, which by the way is the initiate level 5 embody. You can drag someone to the
Really?
underworld. Yeah.
That's
Ooh.
fucked.
Anyways, so Rain's going to be like, "Great, okay, you're not actually here." In their head, internal monologue, and then say, "Did someone slip you something? Did you take something? Who did this to you?"
Are you trying to talk to me?
I am actually not trying. I am talking to you. Can you not hear me?
You sound like your volume's turned really.
I will use whispers to talk to her directly then, and just be like, "Is this better?"
Oh wow, that's crazy. You
Now
can talk.
I can.
You're the first one.
Great. How long has you been seeing us? And did you take something? Did someone slip you something?
This is so cool. What are you? She does not answer your question. She's distracted. You're gonna have to get her to focus.
If I answer your question, will you answer one of mine? Not including this one.
It's crazy. Yeah.
I'm a ghost.
Holy shit.
Now, how long has this been going on for you?
Uh, so she checks her phone. Oh wow. It's been a few hours this time. I got. I should find some of the. Find some of my friends here. They've got to see this. She holds out a small baggie that has a few doses of something you assume is. It just has some pills in it.
Okay, I'm gonna use another power now. I'm gonna use the one I just bought. Actually, the one I was just talking about.
Oh, the rapid decay one.
No. Oh, that's pretty good. That might be more fun. The gremlin in me, though. I'm gonna use life and death, is what I meant. Wait, how many people are around right now besides Millie? Are
It's
we
just
like
her right
somewhere?
now.
It's just us. Okay, cool. Then I'm
Yep.
using life and death.
Cool. Also, difficulty. If the difficulty is the shroud rating, is currently difficulty 4.
It is the shroud rating. Yes. I spend 2
Oh.
pathos and roll manipulation plus embody. Okay. Dose. Inflation is a 4. I don't think there's anything cunning about what I'm doing. I think I'm panicking.
In a moment, Mayor Bryce and Dora, you folks will be able to jump into the scene. I want to give Rain the extra moment because this
Yeah.
is there. See,
There.
All right. I have 6 successes on that, which means I have, what does it say? Each success allows manifestation for one. I can be here for 6 scenes if I so desire.
Jesus.
Okay.
And tell us what this looks like when you pop into reality.
So because it is a version of my mortal self, it is. I don't think I ever got a picture of my mortal
No, you
self.
did-
Actually,
Nope, you did not. To give me an idea, I might hunt something down in the background while running the game, because God knows I love my visual distractions.
I might do that real quick. But we'll just say very much the side shaved NB like that I'm rocking. Probably a little longer. Hair was well, the hair is just dark now because of life and death. They're since they were AFAB. There we go. They have feminine features, but usually dressed a little more mask.
Okay.
I worry about looking on Pinterest later.
You've been dead for how long?
I think we said about a year. I think
Okay.
yeah. I'm pretty young-ish, Wraith
She
wise.
looks closer and goes, "Do I know you?"
Oh, I am. I will say, life and death makes me readily like I am recognizable. The differences are
That's-
obvious, but I am recognizable.
And that is why she is saying this
Okay,
now.
great, cool. So yeah, Rain's not gonna answer. Rain's just grabbing that shit out of her hand, whatever it is.
Hey, that shit's good. I got that for doing a job.
For who? Who gave you this?
I don't owe you a fucking explanation.
Yes, you do. I taught you better than this.
Oh.
Ooh.
You're not my mom.
Correct, I'm not. I'm the wrong gender for that.
Parent, okay. She tries to grab the pills back from you.
Yeah, literally just like we'll treat her like a child that she is behaving. Just put it behind her back, like or their back. There's 2.
Near Bryce and even Dora, who is distracted by her music, you hear arguing going on. Ray, in the back of your head, you're hearing that voice going like, "That was a damn good move."
Do I?
Cthulhu, you are going to be rolling a dark passion at the end of this scene.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh.
Hey, I get to also roll a passion too, so it's fine.
You see, you both get to win.
Yeah. Amy, do I? The question I want to ask is, do I think I can take the drugs or pills or whatever is behind Cthulhu characters?
You feel like you would be unable to physically interact with them without the use of your powers, which I remind you are likely at a lower difficulty because the shroud rating is only 4. Rain can interact with them because her Arcanoid, this is cool. Her Arcanoid literally constructs a physical body in the skin lands that they are controlling.
I'm asking for see, okay, this is why I'm asking. What are the powers for Shadow Notes? Once per day, I may concentrate for 10 minutes to sense impending major events that it will affect him directly. Spends, etc., etc. Gains one day's warning of significant events and whether it will be positive or negative. I was wondering if I could piggyback all of that to see what effect taking the medicine or taking the drug would be on me, and hence infer what it had been on her. But
I'm
I
not going.
can't actually take the drug itself anyway because I don't have the way to interact with it.
Yeah. I will give you this. If you were using the drugs as a focus, like studying them, holding them, just meditating on them, then I would guide the answer to your question to be more around the drugs.
Okay.
So you don't have to physically touch them, but to be clear, you would not know something specifically. Ooh, what's going to happen to Rain for taking the drugs? At most, you might learn how Rain taking the drugs will impact your life.
All right. In that
And-
case, go ahead and uh, I want to say float, but probably just walk floatily behind Rain, and reach to touch the shoulder.
Only Bryce can float. Bryce, you have phantom wings.
Let me double check my sheet.
You got those sweet Sephiroth wings going on.
I like to think
Not
that Mia's.
Sephiroth. I would have a different style, but yes,
Mhm.
I have 2 dots in Arcos, so I can do the wings.
Hell yeah.
I like to think that Mia still tries to walk floatily because, of course. Rain. Pat, 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 pat. Rain.
I'm muted. Rain says
Yeah, I'm muted.
Rain says yes, but like to reply to you, but does not turn to look at you.
Okay. I'm
How
gonna do something.
high? How the fuck? How high am I? Isn't that the? Isn't that the person who sold all the at the bakery?
I reach to also grab her cheeks, and then while having my hands on Rain's shoulder, say, "I'm gonna try to do something." Okay,
Not to her, you're not.
not to her, to you.
Ooh.
Well, only harsh. I'll explain later. In like 2 seconds. I'll spend 1 Pathos and roll Perception Fatalism.
Resolve your roll, and while you're doing that, let's go over to Bryce for their entrance.
Bryce hears the arguments and walks over. And unfortunately, this isn't. Wait, are we in like the main hallway or are we in a side hallway?
That's up to Aaron.
I the reason I asked if people were around was presuming that if we were people around, we were in an open space. But I assume if it's just me and Millie originally, we are probably somewhere in the side, like a side hallway or like one of
Okay.
the, yeah,
Little backstage areas.
yes.
Alrighty.
Not a theater nerd.
Yes. So Bryce would come out from one of the prop rooms that he's been using as a sort of little sleeping and relaxing area, and then sees what's going on and says, do you need any help over here, y'all? In a bit of befuddlement at seeing 3 people and one of them looking a lot more alive than
Yeah,
they
I'll
should be
say
to be interacting with us.
I'll say Rain looks very different, in fact, currently. Um, and I think Rain replies with like a firmness and like a confidence that you are not used to hearing from them as a Wraith. Where it's like, I've got this.
Bryce would like raise his hands up and take a step back, but being a drama theater nerd, would just watch and like wish he could I get some popcorn.
Millie does not turn to look at you because she cannot hear you, and you do not make enough noise for her to notice. she is slightly confused that Rain appears to be responding to somebody that she cannot see. And she turns to look back after a second and is so startled that for a second she forgets about the pills. Al, let's go back over to you. You rolled 4 successes. This is for what power? Friendly card?
No, this is for foreshadow. Primarily it's identify the power with impending major events that will affect the person directly. If
And that can
it's
be
negative,
used on
it's
another person?
no, not really.
Okay, so it is just on you. So it's stuff that will be affecting you. Sure.
Mhm.
Okay.
Just on me, stuff that will affect me. If it's positive, it can be positive or negative. If it's positive, that's good. If it's negative, my shadow gets 1 temporarily ends.
If the future event is.
Yes, if the future event is negative.
I need to look at the whole power then.
Okay.
Oh, Foreshadow comes on surprisingly early. Oh, wow. Foreshadow just straight gives you your dots and fatalism on any roll to detect ambush, traps, or other immediate sources of harm. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love auto bonuses.
I think auto bonus to avoid surprise attacks very prevalent in Chronicle of Darkness or World of Darkness games.
Okay. I see. Okay, I get it now. Okay, this is going to take a few minutes to learn because it does actually take you 10 minutes. But here's what you see so you can mull on. And this is going to represent the time you're taking to consider it. You see more kids like Millie popping whatever these pills are and taking other forms of drugs, but always with the but often with a but always the same effect in your visions. Um, Mortals seeing you and your friends. I think that this casual violation of the dictum mortem in Roosevelt Row is a negative event, so your shadow gains a point of temporary angst.
That is drugs that allows mortals to see Wraiths the only effect it has.
That's a great question that would require further research.
Because it heavily interface uh with Mir's passion regarding people selling drugs or giving drugs to teens and children. I would imagine the way this plays out is because Mir's uh flavor for fatalism is the little Japanese or Chinese fortune cookies. So they would read with the hands that they put on in front of to Millie's face, they would pull back little fortune cookies in their fingers, and somewhat somewhat strangely to them at first, the cookies would be crumbling in their hands when they pull it back, as if they had used too much strength in their fingers to to play a magic trick, basically, and it would be somewhat broken already. So when they take it to actually look behind Rain's and uh move to break it open to read the little papers inside and see what the message has to offer them, and through that mediums learn the image, it does not feel good. It feels like the message would be um
Ooh, that gives me a perfect idea for the flavor. So you read
oh
it
yes,
and you
please.
don't get visions, but you get see phrases written upon it. Like, oh, I can see you. Nice stickers. Are those real? Hey, weren't you shot by the cops? What's it like being dead? Oh, wow. I can touch you. I can feel you. You're so real.
If you
Okay.
would like storyteller, now could be a good time because the fate stuff is going on for Bard's tongue to come into effect.
Which one?
I'm
Ooh,
I'm offering Bryce for it, but if one of you wants to take it,
I don't want it. It's just funny to me that three of us took Bard's tongue.
uh unless you have a great idea
sure.
for it, it seems like something for Mir to go off well.
I have a. So as Mir is contemplating this, uh, Bryce's mouth opens up and speaks in prophetic words,
Ooh.
saying, "The colors of the dead shall be cast in a different hue. To walk forward, we must look behind ourselves."
I think
behind or beyond ourselves.
Behind.
behind.
Dora, you can show up as soon as Ao says his piece.
Yes. I think it doesn't directly seem to threaten her charges, but the words that says does seems slightly threatening or worrying to Mir. So what she would do would be based on her flaws of being shrinking violet is hold Rain's shoulder too hard.
I have a question. Can they still touch me even though I've manifested on the skin lanes?
That is a great question.
This is
I
I truly I've read Wraith front to back, and this is a metaphysical question I don't know the answer to. If you
I believe
manifest,
the
yeah,
I believe the answer is that you exist in both
both
dimensions
okay,
simultaneously.
makes sense.
All right. In that case, well, Mia's basically have superhuman strength, but Mia mistakenly hold to tight, and I'll let Cthulhu, Rain says how it feels to them.
So, fun fact: when I'm embodied like this, I'm basically a human. So my flesh and bones crunch if you squeeze hard enough. So
Uh,
how hard is mere squeezing is my question.
Mia's one of Mia's flaws is shrinking violet, and one of the texts there is you are worried you break the world around you or hurt people or things around you, so probably hard enough to hurt.
Okay, so yeah, like you feel your nails dig into rain, but it doesn't feel like grabbing a ghost. It feels like you're crushing a person.
That yeah, given that they do have the Mir does have the ability to with outrage to move objects or touch objects, I guess it would feel like that, but this is the first time probably because they don't have the appropriate a bit power for it yet that they crush living uh, life and blood human in their hands.
Uh,
Well, just a shoulder.
I want to go over to Dora now. Again, it should take about 10 minutes just to kick in. It's not an instant thing. So let's continue with that. Dora?
Dora's actually not going to do anything. She is just going to stand back and watch this go on because she is a little out of her depth here, dealing with humans who are not functioning correctly.
Millie points and goes, and you. Hey, I saw you perform.
No, you didn't. Dora literally just deadpan replies, "No, you didn't."
You were electric.
Can't hear you,
Bit
Dora.
rude. Can you not hear me? Hello?
No. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was me in character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You were
Rain
electric.
Rain in character says to Dora, she can't hear you.
Oh, she can't hear me?
Not super well, not unless you have one of my powers.
Powers?
Arcanoid, whatever.
Dora
No,
thinks
I mean that's something I
carefully
imagine
here.
a human would say.
Dora, can you sober people up with your power?
No, I can sober wraiths up, but not people.
Okay.
Look, just give me my pills back, okay?
No, I'm gonna use rot on the pills.
Do they leave behind a relic?
If I destroy them with flux, yes, they can potentially, and feels like there's emotional resonance here.
Oh, see now I can take them and see if it will have negative effect on me. Right?
Uh, Okay.
Mira, this is relevant to your interest because the pills, particularly when they're physical, are something that you could study with science.
I feel like my specialty under Dex of Quick applies here because I am trying to get rid of them quickly.
Mir, do you want to prevent that from happening? If so, I'll ask for a roll off. If not, I'll just say maybe Mir objects and then Rain does that anyway.
Sorry, please can you repeat what you were talking about just now?
Do you want to stop Mir from destroying the drugs so that you can study them in their physical form?
No, it's fine.
Okay. I am taking a moment to look at the part about putting relics out of it.
I haven't seen a system for that, but it does mention that when you use rot and other flux powers, they do leave behind. What's it say? Give the exact word.
I think there's
Possible transition
the
to a relic state. This can hasten an object's destruction and possible transition to a relic state. So I'm assuming that's storyteller's decision. If I destroy something, does it become a relic? Does it have enough emotions tied to it to make it become a relic?
I feel like a a person's passing fleeing with drugs is not going to be enough for it to stick around.
Okay, I'm still gonna.
there is some powers that specify that things that got destroyed by this power become a relic. But
I don't think I
I'm
have
not sure
any of
if that's a normal thing that happens when Red use something to destroy things in the skin lands or not.
Yeah, none of.
I would guess that would be a specific power then, because that's I don't get that reading out of rot now.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. None of my powers, even the advanced version of rot, doesn't, or it's called, which is called the decay, doesn't say anything about guaranteed relic. So, I don't need it to be a relic. I just want to destroy it.
Okay.
I am spending a willpower on this. it ages over 100 years instantly.
Okay. The plastic bag's okay, but the drugs inside are rendered to a fine powder.
They drop the bag.
Fuck! I had to do a fucking tattoo for that. Oh my god!
Why would you get paid in drugs instead of fucking money?
She's not gonna deal with this right now. She just turns to leave.
Oh, that's not no. No, ma'am. Rain will do underarm like parent grab of child
Oh,
and turn her around again. You didn't finish answering my questions.
I don't owe you shit.
No, you don't. Everything I did for you, I did out of the kindness of my heart. So
Who
you
the
don't
fuck
owe me.
are you? You're just some Ural artist. I don't know you. Gain a point of temporary angst, please.
Hmm.
oh boy.
Yeah. The cinnamon roll is gonna hit catharsis first, which makes sense.
Al, I'd like Mir to gain a point of temporary angst. Somebody brought drugs into your home.
That's fair.
Tell me who you worked for, and I'll let you go, and you could go do whatever the fuck you want, I guess. Because you don't owe me anything.
I would like a roll to see how much she's going to give you and how much of an emotional impact you have on her.
I'm gonna wager this is manipulation and not charisma.
Correct. Manipulation plus she
Persuasion that I don't have.
socialize, you know.
There is no socialize on this sheet, bitch.
Apparently you haven't heard of secondary abilities.
I have some secondary abilities right here.
I think you're trying to pull a bit on heartstrings too, because you want her to feel bad for this, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Manipulation plus empathy. This can be difficulty 7 because she's upset with you.
It's fine and valid.
Mir,
You're as you're doing this, that voice in your head says, "We've got to get through to her. This is essential." They're gonna offer you. They're gonna offer you some dice.
Oh boy.
Oh, how many?
4 dice.
I'll take them.
damn.
Wow, thank you, Shadow.
Phil.
You're all right.
The way this will work
oops.
is
I hit enter before I asked. I was like, Dora can interfere with that stuff. So I was gonna pause. But maybe
can
that's...
Dora interfere with that?
I
for
thought
other
castigate,
people?
or is that only Dora's own shadow?
No, I can do it. Give me a second here. I'm
Okay.
trying to.
Jesus, I'm gonna look that up too, because if that works, I thought that only worked on you, but that works on other people. That's really
I could be wrong here.
playing with fire, page 155.
Oh, thank you.
It's your own shadow for playing with fire.
Okay.
Okay, rip. Sorry, I tried.
I've rolled no ones on the shadow dice, but I got 3 successes.
Okay. Okay, that is enough for her to be open with you, and also for you to get through to her that she's the one who's being a bitch here, even if she doesn't understand why she's being a bitch.
And I hope she doesn't remember any of this.
She calms down again quick. Like a character from an Elder Scrolls game.
I passed my speech check.
Okay. What?
Who?
Just this dealer I know. It's like a friend, I guess, sort of.
Where'd you meet him? Does he hang around here? Do you have a name?
He doesn't hang around the like this place. He hasn't been here. I mean,
Draw me his picture. I know you can.
yeah. Yeah, sure. She goes to find she goes to pull out a pad from her backpack and draws it. As she does, she says, "His name's Chaz." or he goes by Chaz, or one or the other. He just, I don't know, like he found this new drug, I guess. It's called pigment, and he was. I mean, he's given a really good deal on it. I mean, it's really cheap. And
Fuck.
so
What the fuck
I was
happened
just
to
like,
you?
what do you mean what happened to me?
Why are you doing this?
I don't know, because life kind of sucks most of the time. She'll draw you a decent sketch of Chaz, whose picture I have in the NPCs thread.
Honestly, mood.
Fair enough, but
After this scene,
All
we'll
the
take our first
tattoos.
break.
there's a little bit more I want to do with this scene, if that's all right.
Oh, yeah. Or I didn't
Although I
want to cut you
was
off.
ask Aaron first. I want to do something a little bit mean to Millie. Is that all right? I know it's your background character.
All right. It's more than a background character. It's one of Rain's fetters. So understand what you're fucking with and understand what the consequences of that will be.
Mhm.
Cool. I'm fine with it. I just want you to understand that if Rain finds out you fucked with her, it'll be bad.
Mhm.
Cool.
You are basically out asking whether it's okay to do a kind of potential PvP, and Rain is saying that, and Cthulhu is saying that that does risk a instance of
In that case,
player-character conflict.
let me go ahead and say what I think I would do with so that there's no hope. There's no likelihood of misunderstanding. Mia thinks she will uh threaten and be spooky to um Millie, and that's the end of that. Within the scene, within I while this scene is going on, because she is angry because of what she saw.
Um,
Prob- So this is me asking our character whether you think that's okay or not.
so Aaron, the player, is fine with this kind of antagonism. I'm going to tell
Mhm.
you, what you're asking though is it okay if I scare someone's kid? Because that's what Millie is to Rain.
Mhm.
So that I will frame it.
I think what Aaron is asking back is, "Ow, are you okay with my character getting into an argument with you, getting upset with you, getting
That-
confrontational with you?"
Yeah.
I think that's understood. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Thank you, Retro. You put it well. There will be a response from Rain.
Telltale Games message pops up. I will remember that.
Yes. Also, I do want to check with the other players because, like, the other
Yes.
players, his comfortability is important to
good.
Blaze. Okay, so cool.
Please.
I just want to make sure.
How is Mir trying to affect things?
Basically, I'm thinking Mir's current state is she wants to. She will tell herself that she wants to get more information from about shares, or to make sure that it doesn't get bad, but it's more
Well,
that she gets angry.
well, mechanically, are you trying to channel the haunts and make it spooky for why am I forgetting the name of our NPC?
Millie.
Millie?
We keep forgetting Millie's name for some reason. Sorry, Millie.
Are you trying to make it spooky for Millie? Are you just doing it as your character without doing the
Without
spooky stuff?
taking the hunt into it, yes.
All right. Bryce will stay out of it because he's focused on keeping the haunts neutral or on the protective side.
Mm-hmm.
So with there being some of these confrontational vibes, most of his focus is going to keeping the haunt from like getting pissed off
Hmm.
because the emotions are high.
Although that's a good shout because my thinking is that Miyabu goes, if you're not innocent, you're not welcome here. So that's actually does would touch into the this is a shared space. Will we will allow Millie to come back or not? Which of course we will, but yeah. All right, I'll keep that in mind then.
Yeah, I will say if there's a danger of Millie not being like allowed back here,
Mm,
that's a no.
yeah,
That's one of my fetters. Must
yeah,
protect
yeah.
it.
That's um. With that consideration, I think, given that uh in my mind it was more of a play the character in the scene, I think it would be maybe it would be better to just nix it.
Okay, sounds good.
Out for future scenes, I might suggest updating your dark passions to something that can
Be
come
played.
up in situations
Yeah.
like this. Yeah, because then you could do something where your character goes, I do this that I know everybody would feel safe around.
Yeah, again, I was fine with the slight antagonism. It's just if like it becomes a situation where my fetter stops seeing our haunt as a safe place, that is bad for me. Then she's just wandering free in the world and at risk.
She looks back at you and says, is there anything else?
Yeah, do better.
Oh,
Jeez.
ow.
Wow.
That's some psychic damage there.
Ugh. Oof.
Uh, she is speechless. Her lip quavers, and for just a second, she seems much younger.
Oh, honey.
Rain will end the Arcanoid in front of her so that she sees me transition from Rain into the weird thing she saw.
She'll gather up her notebook, leave behind the drawing of Chaz, and then exit stage right.
Cool.
Bryce will channel his demeanor of bureaucrat
Which
and
doesn't
like
have any mechanical effects, but continue.
yeah, and like Sensei. So you know we're gonna have to tell the Archeon about this, right?
About the drugs, yeah. About everything else, no.
Wait, I thought the demeanor and stuff gave you like what was it?
Nature gives you a point of willpower when you invoke it.
Oh, so demeanor doesn't do anything? I thought it was
Nope.
you still got
Demeanor is how you present yourself to like shield your nature, which is why I
It's
have
it's
my
like
nature
a
and demeanor
roleplay
are the
game.
same thing.
Apparently, you do get
Oh.
2 willpowers if you diminish your nature's affect the actions concordantly. If
Where
they
is that written? I don't see that when I looked it up.
is that not there? I was sure I saw it there. So let me check.
Yeah, it's in accordance with your nature. Oh, so acting in accordance with your nature while hiding it in your demeanor can get you 2 to 3.
Oh,
you
that's interesting.
So you have to
Oh.
like conceal it underneath. So technically, I've hindered myself by picking the same.
Hmm.
Just means you're less likely to get a bunch of points, but more likely for it to come up in the first place.
Hmm?
Mhm.
Um, I don't want to go and talk to the Archeon. Or rather, I don't care about going to talk to the Archeon. I would like to go and punch this guy's head off, or more accurately, punch him so that until he leave this place and anyone else he could talk to in here.
I Rain pauses, like try to compose themselves after what just happened. I want
Also,
to
I'm
go.
sorry.
Mir, the voice in your head says, honestly, I would rather just go jump in a fucking nihil at the moment. This shit gets worse every day.
Shush. Alright, actually, shut up. Not to you, sorry.
No, it's fine. I want to find out where Chaz is getting this shit from. We should have a full report before we give it, right, Bryce?
Uh,
The voice in your head, Bryce, goes, once again, someone else trying to control the conversation.
is he trying to do honey words on me, or is he gonna save that for later into the the day?
He's not trying to do honeyed words. He's just expressing his dark passion of ruling over others.
Yeah.
I'd appreciate if you wouldn't mention the extreme indiscretion I just did.
Of course. I mean, it's not like they couldn't already see things. And he would rattle off like a couple different precedents for why a person seeing past the breach means that things are mostly fair game. Since we didn't break it first, it was the other side.
Great. Thank you.
So Bryce is in a tizzy of trying to say precedents, and like he can see his mind's like working to figure out how to spin this.
Rain's like, I'm gonna take a minute, and I'll meet back up with all of you in a second, and then kind of they just go elsewhere.
Dora, the voice in your head's like, yeah, so hey, I was talking with, Bryce, and we're kind of of one mind about this. We want to figure out where the hell this drug's going from, like just take it as far as we can, because you know, like somebody seeing ghosts, that's interesting.
Dora thinks for a second. And then she uses catechize on Bryce.
That's very broad thing to say. What power?
The power catechize, also known as dark secrets, put to the question, and inquisition. This art allows a partner to learn a wraith's deepest secret. Oh, damn it. Never mind. I thought. Never mind. I'm not doing that because I thought that it would tell me the shadow's deepest secrets. I'm not interested in Bryce. Nothing personal.
Yeah,
Nothing
that's fine.
personal, Blaze. You can.
Mean.
We could find out through actual RP, but I'm not interested in interrogating you. I'm interested in interrogating your shadow. In that case, Dora's just gonna straight up ask, "Hey Bryce, you want to go see where people are getting this drug from?"
Well, of course, but shouldn't we let the Archon know about it first? There's
That bitch, she stole my idea.
Who says that?
That was Bryce's shadow.
Okay.
Because there's like 5 different precedents for unless we tell the Archeon first and they get the rates on lockdown, then it bites us in the ass if someone else tells the Archeon that there's ghost-sighted people wandering around.
If
I agree. We should do things
if
your way. Dora says that, like, to Bryce. Like, I agree. We should do that things your way.
Oh,
if
Bryce
no
looks
one
really uncomfortable when you say that. Like there is a moment of abject fear in his eyes.
Hell
before
yeah,
it.
buddy. We are large and in charge.
Would that give him an angst point?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he gets a full angst point from being put into the steering role.
You gain 1 temporary point of angst.
that's temporary ends.
Yeah.
If no one tells Akenai what, and we go and we deal with this Chess guy, and no one is going to tell him, right?
Bryce would shake his head a lot.
I'm not a
There's so
tail.
many. Huh?
Sorry,
The
go
voice
go
in
ahead,
your
Bryce. Go ahead.
the voice in your head mirror says, you know, we've got untraceable ways of dealing with this problem permanently.
Me too.
What does that
That wasn't
mean?
that wasn't Mia. That was Al.
You unless you changed it since you gave it to me, your ghost still has a M4A1 rifle when they turn into their
Only if they're in catalysis.
exactly.
Your shadow has a gun?
My
That's-
Yep.
My shadow
Hell
has a gun.
yeah.
Shadow gun.
First of all, hell yeah. Second of all, oh no.
But yeah, Bryce would be putting his full 2 dots in in bureaucracy to try and his 3 dots in academics to try and cobble together ways of making sure that investigating this does not get them on Stygia's bad side,
Okay.
if that is allowed.
Yeah, you can make a roll for it. I think I'd want to think of that over our break.
Sure.
You can let me pull up your sheet. I would have you roll politics plus I would have you roll bureaucracy plus intelligence.
Okay, so that's 2 and 2 for 4 dice.
That's not a lot of dice. Your shadow chimes in. We gotta do this right. They offer you a couple dice of shadow.
Bryce will take it because he's already a bit shook up, so he's not thinking straight.
Yeah.
What does that give the shadow?
You get 2 more dice, and if either of those dice, which will be the final dice in your results, roll a 1, then your shadow gains a point of temporary angst for each one.
Politics. Alrighty. So that would mean rolling 6.
Oh, you know what? Actually, know what the answer is going to be if you get a success in this one.
3 successes, and the shadow dice gave me a 10. Is
That's
that bad?
right. Nope, that's good. Your shadow helped you out. It did exactly what it's supposed to do. Encourage you to continue using those shadow dice.
Nice.
They're good. Okay, so here's a thought that comes to you. Yes, talking with the Anacreon as soon as possible would be good, because think of it this way. Ain't gonna be the only guy who's slinging drugs. If Pigman's really that popular, there's other people gonna be doing it. You're a really important district. You want to get ahead of this as soon as possible and have an idea, because that's going to further advancement for yourself. And also make you look good for dealing with whatever fallout. But you gotta have a plan, even if it's a bad one, even if it's not thoroughly thought through, even if it's a fucking lie, because it's better to do what you gotta do and ask for forgiveness later if things go wrong.
And Bryce would be saying all this to Dora and Mir if they are still in scene.
Yeah, she is.
So Bryce would be like going through his mental thoughts about how they should pull this off and letting Dora and Mir chime in.
The only thing I like about what you said just now is the last sentence, which is that we do what we got to do and do it immediately.
I feel like Rain should be part of this conversation.
I
Dora
mean,
says.
oh, okay. I thought that was not a game thing. I was like, Rain literally.
No, Dora says this to the group, like, hey, this all sounds great and such, but Rain should probably be part of this conversation. It seemed like they were pretty invested in this whole situation.
Bryce would be looking kind of strained now because he has at least 2 shadows that are pestering him for acting as soon as possible now, or at least that's what Bryce's shadow is telling him.
How much empathy do I need to know that this is happening to Bryce? Amy?
Do you feel like your character would see it? How much empathy do you have? Let's see, what's your sheet?
2 dots.
2 dots. I think you know Bryce well enough to see that he's feeling troubled by something. You couldn't be sure whether that's offhand, whether that's his shadow or his own personal misgivings, or both.
Mm-hmm. We're just gonna wait and see. But she is gonna kind of just reiterate. We don't necessarily have to wait for Rain, but Rain does need to be part of wherever this is going, independently of how soon we want to do it.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no worries. Rain, true to their word, will return like shortly after, like after they stepped away to like get a moment, and they look far more composed.
That's great. In that case, Dora will say, "Hey, Rain, Bryce has a great idea."
Blaze, I want to add one more point for you. You would realize that due to your notoriety as a group and your personal status with the hierarchy, Zachariah is more likely to listen to you. He's also more likely to be forgiving if things don't turn out as he expected, so long
Yeah.
as he doesn't think that you're actively sabotaging him.
Yeah, Bryce's shadow is whispering hard right now then.
Continue.
So I have 2 dots in angst where I had 0 in a few minutes ago.
So,
Hang on,
Everyone looks at Rain.
Blaze, do you have angst or does your shadow have angst?
My shadow has angst.
Okay.
If Blaze had angst, he'd be playing a very different character.
Yeah, that would be weird. That's why I needed to ask. Like,
Sorry
hold
for
up.
words. They are not wording right now.
It's like we are playing werewolf over here.
what's the plan?
So
Fine.
Bryce would go and recap hey, we need to tell the Archeon as soon as possible. There's precedence for this, and unless we get on top of this now, then we could get in trouble because we're like the face of the district. So because it's happening on our turf, if we don't get this to the Archeon now, then we're the ones that are on the hook for why didn't we say it so sooner, and that also gives us more leeway to like do the investigations because it's our turf in Phoenix that's first being notified of the issue.
Wouldn't it make more sense for us to, because it's our turf that this is happening on, for us to go take care of it first and then report?
Only if you are willing to gamble on someone else trying to soul steal us for not reporting it faster.
I saw the number of people who got hooked up on this already, and I am not willing to bet on it having no more harmful effects or it affecting no one else while we deter and go around and work on bureaucracy.
As
And
Mir
I don't
says
think
this,
that you
all
should
of
either.
your collective eyes are drawn towards the massive crumpled fortune cookies piled at Mir's feet, all with weird, terrible, and terrifying sayings.
Oh boy.
What the hell is that? Dora will say and point directly at the fortune cookie slips.
I imagine it's like I'm imagining like a roll of paper that look kind of like a measuring tape. So it's just a really long roll or crumble up after me and let go of it while in the thing. Mia will pick it up and give it to Dora.
Dora will read it. You don't need to make anything up if you don't have anything handy, but on a scale of 1 to 10, how disturbing and horrifying is what Dora's reading?
I would think it would be about a 7 for Dora. It indicates that a lot of people are able to see and even touch Mir.
I think the emotion around the papers is, hey Dora, I see you. Oh, hey, this is what you're wearing today. Hey, I'm glad to see that you have styled your hair this way. Oh,
What the
I
fuck,
can
man?
touch you right now. I can see you. I'm behind you. I'm right in front of you. Like really people in your personal space. Basically, it's the emotion I'm thinking this conveys.
What the hell? Okay, what the hell is this? Like, does any of my occult or enigmas knowledge tell me what the hell this is, Amy?
I mean, you could just ask me.
Mir, what the hell is this?
This is the result of my reading the Arcanoid of Fatalism. This is the fate I have in store for me.
Dora just folds the paper, just hands it back to Mir, and it's just like, come talk to me in private if you need help, Mir.
I am the person who help others.
Dora has
Is
this look like, that is exactly what someone who desperately needs help with their
Straight
shadow
up,
would
straight
say.
up, Rain will make eye contact with Dora and share a knowing look of like, "Yep, this is a caregiver who has not bothered to care for themselves."
uh, so out of character, is it okay if Bryce makes problems on purpose?
Oh, wait.
Of
Can I
course.
say
Right
just
now.
one more line? One more line.
Yes, please.
Rain, it will work out somehow. And that is caregiver nature, optimist demeanor in one go.
To answer Blaze, I'm always for causing problems.
Peace.
Bryce catches just a small look at the paper, goes deathly pale, and goes, I gotta go. And he turns, summons his wings, and well, if he can summon his wings, he will try to. And
Dora
will
is
do his
going
best
to
to like
stop him and
fly out of the
say,
scene
Bryce,
and
wait.
get to the Citadel as quickly as he can.
Dora is going to say, Bryce, wait. Does Bryce wait?
You'll have to try and catch him.
Dora says, Bryce, wait, please. Does Bryce hesitate at all?
uh, you can see that he can't really hear you. He is hearing something else as he turns around.
Okay, in that case, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking go for it and see what happens. Amy, Dora would like to use Soul Sight on Bryce. A
Sure, you can do
apostrophe
that,
S
and then I'm
shadow.
probably going to call the scene after that. And then the next scene will take place at the Anacreons, but we're going to open with Bryce being the first person there because he is the one who can fly.
Okay.
Yeah. Dora's skateboard is pretty sick, but not that sick. I wish I had taken
Well,
speed.
I would
Well,
I would
flying is
feel bad
only-
if I let you.
flying is only at a jog, isn't it? So he's not that much faster than Dora on a skateboard.
Oh my god,
That's-
Dora's totally just gonna chase him on a skateboard.
man.
That's why Bryce arrives first, and you guys arrive, thereafter.
All right, give me 1 second. This is going to be perception plus castigate. I have 4 perception and 3 castigate, so 7. Can I get a difficulty rating, please?
Is it the shroud or willpower or
It is.
what?
It is going to be Blaze's willpower, which is 7.
Okay. Uh, 2 successes? Question mark? Yes, 2 successes.
So Blaze with 2 successes.
So that tells me. Sorry, go ahead.
That's going to tell Dora Bryce's Shadow's angst rating relative to Dora's, and one other interesting piece of information.
I believe my shadow's rating is 1.
Damn.
Uh,
Okay.
Wait, question.
Oh no, it's 0.
So
Oh
It's
no,
not
no,
actually
no. Yeah,
0.
it's not. It's not. Okay, go ahead.
We'll update that later.
did you say that for dots, it's if they match up with your permanent number of dots?
It doesn't
It's when
say.
the shadow.
It doesn't say it's Wraith being Wraith. So I would probably say their permanent angst is probably what they mean. Although you could then add another detail of like, oh, they feel like they have a lot of. You feel like they have a little bit of temporary angst at this point.
Oh, well, I meant when does the shadow take over? Because I think we
When-
changed that
That's
rule from 10
that's
to.
optional. So the shadow just needs to have more temporary angst than your permanent willpower, and they can attempt to take over.
Oh, willpower, not permanent angst. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, you're not even close yet.
There is an optional rule I had in mind, but we'll go over that after the break because I want to get to our break.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that. So Dora would be able to tell that Bryce has gained a significant amount of angst in a really short amount of time period, and that his permanent angst is now kind of catching with his temporary angst is now caught up with his permanent angst, though both are on the lower ends relatively, but still higher than Dora's. I'm thinking.
I think that's good for 2 successes.
Okay, fair enough.
Let's take our break. So I'd like to meet you all back here in 10 minutes. Cool?
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
All right.
we're back.
Hey everybody, welcome back. It is time to see the back half of our session of Community Spirits and Dead Colors. When we left off, the group had been discussing what to do about the weirdness of a lot of people around here can see ghosts, and some other people might want to do it as well. And maybe we should tell the Anacreon. There was some debate, but then Bryce is like, fuck it, I'm doing it. And then he took off. Now, I believe now is a good time for Aaron to make their fair dark passion roll.
Okay. I also a passion roll to make because protectability is my passion.
Cool.
I will when it's the specific passion / dark passion, the difficulty is much lower, correct? It's 6.
It must always be the specific, and it's
Well,
always
you can
6 when it's you.
Okay.
It becomes 8 when you're seeing somebody else do the specific one.
Okay, I
A
see.
mortal.
I
not a-
thought
not
you
a
could be more
ghost.
generic and the emotion tied to it you could also get from, but it's like a way harder. That's fine. We can whatever. So 6 for me. This will be the passion. 1 still subtract, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, this is me getting a point of pathos back. Great.
All right.
And now the I think the dark passion has 4 in it actually.
Yeah, your dark passion is more than your normal passion.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you could roll no successes. Happen.
Yeah, say that. Keep saying that.
Jesus.
I will point out I am above my temporary angst is above my permanent willpower currently.
Okay, I do not want to get you to 10 points, so tell me what you are at now.
I am at 7 of 10.
Oh, oh yeah, they're gonna want to do a catharsis at some point.
Well,
That
because-
is fast.
I might have stepped away to collect myself to allow that to happen, but it's you're playing my shadow. I'll let you decide when.
I see.
I figured I knowing how much the dice spot
Oh.
hates me, I did.
Oh man, I have to do catharsis to do anything with you. All of your thorns are passives.
Yeah, they sure are.
That's rough, buddy.
Should I also be rolling a dark passion since Bryce has now been put in a position of control over others?
Yeah, go for it.
All right, now to remember the roll.
I feel like Dora really dropped the ball on being a part in her hair.
I think
sorry, but I'm
Rain's
assuming-
really clever about playing their bad side. So
I'm gonna use this as an excuse for Dora to like just be gung ho about keeping everyone's shadow in line.
All right, so this is Bryce's main dark passion. So it is 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Mm-hmm.
4 dice.
Yes, it is.
And the roll is 6 because it's himself.
Yes.
All right, so that's copy.
Man, how much does it suck if you have a dark passion of something your normal wraith hates, but wants to stop so you keep encountering it? Actually, that'd be fun.
yeah, that's why you can have wraiths shadows like the monster. He just wants to destroy everything you give a shit about. Like a constantly antagonistic shadow. If you want that in your life, you can have that.
Okay. It did not go correctly, so I will just.
Make sure you don't copy the first bracket, otherwise it'll fuck up.
Oh, that is what I did.
Most common mistake.
There we go. Oh, that is a 2.
You gain 2 points of temporary angst.
Okay, I'm now at 2, 3, 5 out of 7.
Okay. Well, it's a little bit more. A little bit more. All right. Bryce, you are the first to arrive at the Anacreon's place of business, office, home. He's got a decommissioned theater that he runs everything out of.
As in for the
It
Citadel, or?
Man, no wonder Phoenix is falling apart. Theater kids run everything.
This is not a okay. This is a movie
God, that's a
theater.
truth. That's some real truth right there.
I say that as a theater kid, as a recovering theater kid.
I don't know, the text managed to do well enough.
The
Text
Citadel
got-
encompasses the main area. You guys are within the Citadel. So, but he personally has a movie theater.
Ah.
His movie theater is filled with knickknacks from various films that were popular. So the walls, the ceiling are cluttered with movie posters. There's some people's like favorite snacks are laying about. Some even in the real world. The toys, plenty of toys. You know, the Dune Cup is obviously there. Already got that Dune Cup. Uh Old DVDs, you know, any like crazy DVD collection
He
where it's a
has the
collector's edition.
Ducey.
What?
He has the Ducey,
The Deuce? The Deucey?
the Dune Cup.
Yes, he has the
the
Dune Cup.
sandworm.
Yes, he has
the
the Sandworm
Sandworm.
Dune Cup.
Can I say that Rain is the one that fetched it for him?
Yes, actually, I was gonna suggest that he
Wonderful.
ask that personally. Collectors. I have to see if there's got to be a crazy Godzilla collector's edition box somewhere.
There's
Wow,
so many, far too many.
I'm seeing
Yes,
a bunch
there
here,
there
and
are.
that's
So they're often split up by era, like whether it's
Yep.
Heisei or yeah, they are almost guaranteed to be split up by era, like Showa and such. Yeah.
found something. Okay, he's totally got something like this. Plenty of things like this on display.
Oh, old
Hey.
Godzilla.
Go see.
Oh, that's. Oh, I think that
Those
would
were
be
the older
Showa.
mascots.
It's hard to tell. 1, 2, 3. I can't count how many movies are on there. I'm not. Never mind. Sorry. Godzilla's wrong arm. Godzilla special interest activated.
Are you able to put your hand inside the head and like talk through it?
I don't think so.
I need to know.
I feel like if you were a ghost, you could technically do that.
I don't
Really
own that
interesting use
box
of a
set.
habit. Ask Bryce to inhabit the head of Godzilla and talk to people.
Yes.
That's how Bryce made his response.
It's
You should
not
put
all.
Bryce in charge of that.
The hard part is it's not all fun because there's also paperwork. Paperwork everywhere. Written on social stelas and, you know, bits of stretched out papers from journals, tacked up on walls, fallen. His courtiers are scrambling back and forth, talking with each other in between the toys and the shot glasses from the Star Wars movies. This is just life inside of Zachariah's office. The man himself is currently inside of his theater proper. He is sitting back and trying to watch an old Godzilla movie while his courtiers are rushing up and asking him questions, which he, with impressive multitasking ability, is able to address with a kind of bored indifference for the most part. while they're constantly putting paperwork on his lap, taking it away, sitting on seats next to him.
Oh dear.
Dude, Bryce, he's a very busy man.
Yeah, and I'm about to make his day worse. He can probably see that in my expression as I don't even bother walking. I sort of float through the window and only dispel my wings then. When
I'm
like
so sorry.
5 steps apart in front of him.
I just fully pictured this moment as Bryce showing up to Zachariah right now as the scene in Robin Hood Men in Tights where the sheriff of Rottingham comes to report to Richard Lewis playing Prince John.
I don't remember how that scene goes.
Maybe tell me the bad news in a good way. Don't want any bad news. I had a good BM. Sorry.
His getting in there requires you to actually stop outside of the building and then go through it, because whatever parts of it may actually be the old theater.
Oh, they're so still all over.
Yeah, so at best, you would go through a wall and knock wall scrolls off onto the ground and piss them off. At worst, you'd run into like an actual wallpaper that had been salvaged from the destroyed theater.
Then he's flying to the gate and going in the regular way.
Okay.
Yeah, but he has the power walk. He has the Winter Soldier Doom is upon us power walk going on.
The Anacreon, who, if you need a reminder, he is the first person in the NPC thread.
Yep.
His lips curl into a downward expression beneath the half skull mask that he wears as Bryce approaches. Bryce hears the sound of his leather gloves tightening into uncomfortable fists as Bryce gets closer. I recognize the sound of that walk. Bryce Higa, I take it you have something interesting to tell me.
As per ordinances 583 alpha through epsilon gamma 87 of the year Anno Domini 1486, I am here to report breaching of the veil from the human side, potential cult activity in the form of drugs that allow them, the Skinland side, to see us.
Quick
in
note,
keeping with
outside you hear like a scrape as if a skateboard is suddenly coming to a stop.
One of the petals falls gingerly across the mask's face from the eye socket that it is planted in. So it's very bad, is what
Bryce bows and doesn't say a word.
Bryce, the Anacron finally turns to look at you. How did you come across this information?
Bryce stands from the bow and says that about 2 hours ago, some humans consumed drugs near my shared haunt and stated that they could see and were trying to contact us.
This would look very bad if word got back to Sigia.
Indeed.
As one of my most trusted, I'm sure you already have a solution in mind for this problem.
Do I need to make a roll, or does the roll from last scene enough for stating all of the proper procedures still in effect?
I don't know how it would apply to this situation. You're welcome to ask me for advice on what you would suggest. I kept it broad on purpose so you could invent.
Yeah. According to the precedent set by the Orphic madness of blah blah blah, there was a citywide lockdown on those not invested by the Archeon to investigate the situation. There was also blah 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 and blah blah blah.
I don't want to put a lockdown on all of my ghosts, on all the restless in Phoenix. I don't want both Stygia and the islands of Flint coming after me. I don't want emissaries from the Dark Kingdom of Jade coming over here and asking me weird questions.
Then do you suggest that we do this all off the book, sir?
Yes, actually. Anything which generates less paperwork would be excellent.
Let me know when Dora can barge in.
As soon as Bryce says something he can't take back.
By your leave. Bryce would say with a bow.
So what are you going to do about this matter?
As it is off the books, do you wish to know now, or be told after things are resolved?
Good question. What I want is to know how big of a threat this is, and that it's not going to be a significant threat to your area. I can then use whatever you do as a model for other districts. Whatever you do, I don't want you, I don't know, trying to take down a criminal empire. I'll be satisfied knowing that Roosevelt Row has a solution.
We have identified at least one drug seller, and unfortunately, these are being sold for the cheap. They are highly distributable, and therefore, there is a significant chance of other cases of people on the Skinland side flocking to known haunts to try and catch a glimpse of the other end of the other side. We have identified a few.
Find out what he knows.
Indeed.
Deal with him accordingly. Find out who he gets it from. If they're a bigger fish, as it sounds like.
Yes.
Just good. Let me
As we recall,
know about it.
one of our members has a bit of an affinity for fate weaving. Their prophecies are unfortunately fairly alarming.
We'll take that as it comes then. Oh, and obviously I can't say this, but if the dictum mortem got broken in Roosevelt Row to deal with this matter, I don't think I could let that part be shared with the other districts.
Your benevolence is always a most appreciated blessing, sir.
Excellent. As Dora is coming in, he says, will there be anything else?
No, as there is nothing to be found on the books, there is nothing for us to speak about. I apologize for taking your time for a small matter.
Bryce, stop for one. You're never causing a problem for me. by telling me that there is a problem. I just want to know that you are dealing with it.
Yes, sir.
Also, I think there's some fresh popcorn. Go enjoy.
Thank you, sir.
Actually,
Bryce would turn and then see Dora
bump
coming
right
up and
into
look a
Dora,
bit,
yes.
and would look a bit shocked and chagrined at his potential shadow caused overreaction, but would try and steer Dora to the side to get her up to speed about what the Anacreon said about the situation.
Hello, Dora.
Hi, Zach.
He looks over at Bryce. She calls me Zach. What do you think of that, Bryce?
It is not my place to say one way or the other.
I get the feeling the two of you have something to talk about.
Indeed, we will get out of your hearing so that way you may focus on your other work. Thank you again for seeing us.
The moment you step away, like 3 people mob Zachariah.
Oof, poor guy. Dora says out loud.
Meanwhile, on the screen, Godzilla suffers a mighty crashing to the ground.
Dora asks Bryce, "Hey, are you okay? You kind of panicked back there."
Bryce's voice would be a bit shaky as he breathes in and says,
Dora,
I will have to be fine.
Sorry,
This is
give me a
much more
second.
important than us.
So Dora's demeanor is not friendly or like motherly caring or whatever. Dora's demeanor is like like a soldier who is watching an operation like this close to going like
Off the rails.
completely off the rails. Yeah, like she's not interested in how Bryce feels. She's interested in like whether Bryce is capable of functioning. With the implication like because of your shadow. And Dora's gonna ask again, "No, I'm serious. Are you okay?"
Ask me
Don't
again
give me.
after I
Okay.
ask me again after I get the rest of the group up to date on what has been shared here.
Okay, let's go do that.
Rain and Mir, the two of you, are showing up about now. The popcorn machine in the back is fully active, and it is the best smelling popcorn.
Why don't we go towards the popcorn machine? It should be loud enough to mostly muffle our words.
Why don't we just go outside?
Yeah.
We don't need to stay in his office.
Bryce would nod. Thank you for the common sense. Yes, let's get out of here for now.
Bryce and Dora, you two are the best detectives I know, and is currently nearby to me. How do we find Chess?
Dora has this look on her face like, "Dang, that's crazy. You must not know too many detectives." Well, we should ask that Chaz guy or Chad or whatever his name was that Millie got the spice from.
Yeah. Did we get? Did Millie? Rain? Did Rain ask where Millie got?
We have a
What
sketch.
location? Chess is.
No.
We have a face, but not a location.
We have a
No,
face.
he travels around.
Yeah, they got name, face, and that's it. They might have been
Okay.
distracted.
Just
It
a bit.
works. I mean, we could find Millie again and ask where they were a few hours ago.
We could find Millie and just stalk her for a day or two. We destroyed her current supply, so she's probably going to go back for more soon.
That's true.
I'll take care of that.
We have some other options as well. I'll
You
ask
know
around.
what? You know what? Castigate one on fucking Rain. And in fact, no, Dora's gonna ask politely, "Hey, Rain, are you okay?"
I'm fine. She's important to me.
Do you mind if I take a look at you? And Dora will kind of, with her eyes, like glance down to where your shadow would be if you had a literal shadow.
Oh, well, thank you, Betty.
I feel like shadows. I feel like ghosts do still have shadows, just only visible in Shadowlands.
Yeah, do you mind if I take a look?
Go go ahead.
Okay, great. Dora's gonna do the same thing. Your current willpower is like,
Temporary or permanent?
I don't know, Amy, temporary or permanent?
Permanent.
Rain?
Rain's permanent willpower is 6.
Okay. I got one success. Darn.
Okay. So with a single success, you would recognize that her ranks that their inks is higher than yours.
Oof. Yikes. I don't want to
I'm gonna
beat
interrupt
Rain.
everyone. Thank you, Raiders. Welcome in Chatting Sorcery.
Hello.
Hi everyone.
I'm gonna shout you
Hello.
out.
Where are you guys coming from?
We are playing Wraith. It's been drama filled. Welcome. Thank you for the raid. There was if you're wondering why I was so quiet for the first time ever at a stream, it's because I was working behind the scenes with channel owner and Enchanting Sorcery to make the raid happen. So welcome everyone and thank you for your patience, fellow players and GM.
I was a little
Nothing cheers
concerned.
me so much as hearing somebody say the game's drama filled.
Oh yes.
Love it.
I'm doing my job well.
So yeah, I
What was
don't
I
want
gonna
to.
say? Oh, Aaron, I want your Wraith to do Catharsis with the understanding that they're planning on taking over when you go off to deal with Chaz.
Fuck you, Alisai, but you're correct. Oh, okay. There's no roll, it just happens, correct?
No, I have to spend a point of temporary angst, and then I
Okay.
have a roll off with you.
Okay. My willpower
So.
versus your, well, mine. All right. So I have marked off the temporary angst. Yes, you are a good girl, Alizai, who likes attention. Sorry. I am rolling my willpower now.
I'll say before you go off and deal with Chess, it's my feather.
Okay.
Oh.
I have no powers to enact violence. Well, that's not true. I have one power to enact
That's
violence.
not true at all.
I have one power that I can like do supernatural violence with, but that is not Rain's vibe, so you have nothing to worry about.
Well, Rain's not in the driver's seat.
I mean,
Rain might be in the driver's seat.
Okay.
I'm doing the roll now because I don't want to see you accidentally get to angst 10.
Okay.
And don't let me, guys, don't let me forget. At the end, I want to talk about a rule adjustment to deal with that becoming a potential issue in the future. So your shadow currently has 6 temporary inks, correct? Because they spent 1. Is that right?
Sorry, what's that?
Your shadow has 6 temporary inks, right? They had 7 and they
After
spent 1.
spending 1, yes, they would have 6.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, that's they botched.
Oh.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
One moment.
Wait, the shadow botched, right?
Shadow botch,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
good.
rolled
That
for
is
it.
that is a haha.
It's a very big
I'm seeing whether they have anything
This
special for when
this
it
the only
botches.
time you'll see me play a cinnamon roll prevails.
The wonders never cease.
Okay.
So wasn't there a malevolence earlier? If you do wanna type
For
something in.
there is a benevolence, a good one for me.
Benevolence.
Yes, Betty was kind to me. Yes, not malevolence.
Okay. I thought there
Okay.
was something saved up.
I'm gonna say your shadow loses another point of temporary angst for the botch.
Okay.
You hear the voice in your head saying, here she comes. She doesn't believe in us.
That's true.
We need to be fearless in the upcoming situation.
Rain turns to Dora and is like, "Have you had a good enough look?"
Dora looks deeply concerned and is weighing her options. And she says, I can help you, but it's going to hurt.
And
Amazing how she chooses now to start saying stuff when she was so glad to just keep the being quiet and focus on her goddamn music when we were in the middle of actually dealing with something serious.
Yeah, I fucked up. Okay. Wait, I can't hear the shadow.
Correct.
Dora does get that
Dora
back
and
up, though.
Bryce both hear in their heads, ooh.
Dora ignores that. You know, the kind of ignoring that tells you she's not ignoring that.
Mm.
Dora, I'm in control and I'm fine. Really.
Okay.
I just in my soul felt Dora pressing X for doubt.
Yep. My X key no longer works. I have smashed it into the ground.
You know, I tell you what, I think I can chill out a little bit. At the moment, other me, I think you're doing just fine.
The least reassuring thing I've heard in a long time.
How about you, Bryce? Would you like to step into my magical realm?
Bryce would laugh and nod his head
Sounds so
at
spicy.
that joke. Perceptions. Where is the... Oh, that's not it.
Your shadow says, she's not hitting on us, right?
No, I'm not. Fair.
Oh, which chapter was the rules about how to use Soul Sight or the Death Sight?
It is page 126 for both life sight and death sight and heightened senses.
126. Because before we do that, Bryce would be wishing to make sure that no one is around to listen in on us.
You can step away from the office to have that conversation.
Yeah.
Eh.
Well.
Oh, Sevatar, in Dora's head, she hears the voice saying, "Hey, by the way, if Bryce starts hitting on us, just say no, okay?"
Dora smiles to herself and says, "You know what? I'm just gonna say yes just to piss you off."
Is Life Sight the one you'd use to sense if there's any other wraiths in the area?
Death sight.
Or would that
You
be
want
something
death.
else?
You want
Death
death sight.
Death Sight lets us notice if there's
Uh,
other wraiths around.
Oh,
Uh,
that would just be heightened senses then.
Oh. No,
Yeah,
I am
to
not good
notice
at that
other
one.
race, that would literally just be a perception check.
Oh, perception. I have 3 dots in perception.
Sevatar, pause a second for a safety check-in. On the safety sheet, you have written no romance with PCs, which is why I had your shadow being like, "Ooh, no."
Flirting is fine. No romance, but flirting is fine.
Okay.
As long as both parties are cool with it, flirting is fine. Please, Dora, not flirt with people. She flirts with her own shadow. Come on.
Imagine flirting with your evil self.
And I guess 4. So would it be a roll
God.
4
For
because
for
awareness and
Wednesdays,
perception?
check out Beast the Primordial.
Well, we flirt with our evil selves.
That's not even streamed.
So there's an
Just
element of
watch.
mystery to see how it goes.
Just watch tomorrow, like
Simply
12 people just show up on my server and
Yes.
pop in at 6 o'clock.
simply come and join Amelia Fish's server.
Heightened senses. I get 1.
You notice whether there's other race around?
Yeah.
Paint the scene for me. Where are you trying to have this conversation? What do you consider a safe place? Just
Pretty
walking
far from
around
the
the
city
streets
out.
on downtown Phoenix?
Uh, well, like somewhere that's close to the Citadel, but like a back alley or like a side room, like a little board meeting room, if those things exist inside the Citadel.
Yeah, you can find like an abandoned office that you can
Yeah.
hop into. It's not hard. Like there's a lot of ghosts, but there's not enough that you can't just walk down 7th Avenue and have a conversation next to the Total Wine and More.
Okay. Well, I will do that then. Of getting
Perfect
us out
place
of
for
like the.
spirits.
I mean, supposedly spies meet at like bars for a reason, because all the noise drowns out everything else. And
Also the boost.
so Bryce would, after hearing that, say, "Okay, but first I need to tell the others what the Archeon said and get us all up to speed." So we've been given carte blanche on the incident, but it is all to be off books. So basically, don't get caught, don't even get noticed, and we're good. We just need to get rid of this as quickly as possible, because otherwise someone's gonna notice. Flint has their eyes on us. Stygia has their eyes on us.
Nice.
We need to get rid of this as fast and as quietly as possible.
So the proverb says don't use your own supplies, but probably this guy, if he has drugs that let him see ghosts, he'll probably be able to see ghosts, right?
Bryce shrugs.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I guess if. Hang on a second. Dora
I mean
thinks
that
for
that
a
makes sense,
second.
right?
Dora does not have the business knowledge necessary to know that drug dealers do not get high on their own supply.
It's also a false premise. They almost always do.
Hmm.
That's true, but in that case, she probably doesn't know enough to know that either.
Mir has enough to. I think Mia probably has enough streetwise and experience working on this to know that the proverb is that, but still, as Erin says, and it simply just makes sense to me that someone who sells drugs that can let people see ghosts to people would themselves take those drugs so that if
Yeah,
any ghosts come by to them, they will be able to see them. Like
You
that
do
yes,
just makes
they'll be
realize
able
that
to see
yes,
us.
it's extremely likely that he's tested his own drugs. By the way,
We're also depending on the situation.
this will be our last scene for the evening. This
Okay.
whole group thing with the four of you.
okay. In that case, does it bother anyone if we kill him?
We need to know where he gets his stuff first. This
Does it
isn't
bother
a normal
anyone if
drug.
we force him to divulge his suppliers and then kill him?
Bryce would be giving Mir some side eye at going straight to murder, but Bryce is in a war with his own shadow right now, so he's not exactly all there either.
I mean, we did get carte blanche.
Ren?
I don't look at what death leads to. They gesture around to them currently, themselves, the space they're in. Do you really want to inflict
Maybe.
that on anyone who doesn't really deserve it?
Maybe they do.
How do you
Maybe he
know?
does deserve it.
Have you ever met
Hang
them?
on.
Spoken to
Wait,
them?
hang on. If he does deserve it, then he'll probably just go straight into Oblivion immediately.
Exactly. But
From
we
a
don't know if he
purely
deserves
tactical,
it.
from a purely tactical standpoint, killing him is maybe not the best policy right away. If it does come to that, though, I mean, we have permission, but that shouldn't be our first option, I think.
Yeah, there's been a fairly low population of specters at the moment. Though after this, I'm not sure what will be happening.
I do think we need to figure out where this stuff is coming from first and foremost.
Indeed.
I
I
agree.
just
Something
don't.
that can see spirits cannot be a one-off drug. There has to be something behind it.
I
I'm sorry,
just
Yao.
don't think I see any way to remove him from. I'm not seeing any way to remove him from our city, our home,
I'm just saying
without just destroying him.
we don't have to make that decision right now. Like we
No,
should go find the guy
no,
first.
I am bringing it up right now because and this is what I'm seeing is if you want to keep him from dying, maybe I should. Uh,
The
no,
other character?
yes,
Oh, did you say that the drug dealer was a fetter?
yes.
You know that killing your fetter means that bad things happen, right?
You go
Mhm.
immediately into a heroin.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay, that just to make sure that you're understanding that will be a fairly major consequence.
No, this is more mere going to a dark place where the option of redeeming or getting him out of this life and do something less bad is not in her mind. So this is more me putting it forward that hey, anyone wants to take charge of doing something better than killing this guy, speak up.
Yeah, the issue is I don't think we can make that call right now.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
We shouldn't even need to deal with him too much. There's no way
Amy,
this is a one person operation, not seeing spirits. At least all the historical precedents we have say that there's cults or some other larger group behind this. If we can get rid of the source, whatever they're using to make the drug, that should solve the problem of the drug dealers pretty quickly.
Okay.
the things that allow one to see spirits are pretty obscure. Sharon made sure of that.
Amy,
Yes.
I would like to use playing with fire. Oh no, I can't just use that. However, I would like to use Soul Sight on targeting Mir.
Yeah, targeting suicide on every single member of the party in one session.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
after
mean,
after
it does
this,
feel like this is the angst heavy scene,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
it is a good time for
yeah, after
Dora to
this
check.
session, Dora's just like, all right, rails off.
Dora's going to sleep with a gun from now on.
So one of Dora's like dark passions is refuse responsibility. So she's been like actively refusing her responsibilities as a partner. And like watching Bryce like fly off the handle like that just kind of brought it back for her. She's like, "Oh yeah, I'm supposed to prevent this sort of thing. Oops." So yeah,
If you want to go ahead, Mir is 6
great.
for willpower.
Thank you. 2 successes. So that will tell me your relative angst rating and a fun little detail of someone else's choice.
Are
Have a
we talking permanent or temporary?
you know, the rules
It,
don't fucking
I
clarify.
think it's meant to be permanent.
Okay. What was Dora's angst? Permanent angst, I meant.
Permanent angst is 0.
No, your permanent angst always has to be at least one.
Oh, then never mind.
Sevatar, do you remember what you rolled during the first session?
Nice,
Go ahead and do that roll right now. Roll 5 dice.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was under the impression that Dora, Bryce are both very low.
Yeah, I know I rolled pretty low, but fuck it. Well, I rolled 3 just now, so I'm gonna
Okay.
mark those on my sheet, which I did not previously do. That was my bad.
In that case, my impression was that you were 1, so I was gonna say Mir is substantially more angstier than Dora, but it's 5. So quite a bit into this angst game, but yeah.
Okay.
And a fun detail, can it be anything or what?
I don't know. That's actually up to Amy. Because
It should just be something shadow related. It could be 5 successes basically gives them all of your shadows permanent traits. So you could pick one of those traits you think is interesting to share,
so it's like
or some other
archetype,
insight into your shadow that you
I
think
think
would be interesting for the
the
story.
thorn, dark
I think the
passions.
most interesting thing Dora would know about Mir's shadow is if Dora wants things to work the way she seems to want it to go, she should let Mir do what her shadow wants her to do.
No.
I mean, that's a fun detail.
So moving on.
Okay.
Dora's just gonna take a look at Mir like, I'm watching you. But not at Mir, like behind Mir, as if she's breaking the fourth wall of Mir's like own subjective perception.
The voice in your head, Mir, says, "Can you believe the cheek of this kid?"
I don't remember ever pinching his cheek. I'm thinking that I'm not even replying that to the shadow.
She needs a smack in the bottom, is what she needs.
No romance. Fetch.
You can go ahead and try.
This isn't helpful. Have you seen what you want to see? Can we
Yeah.
go back to chess?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Rains want to handle looking through Millie's schedule by themselves. Crap. That doesn't count. I didn't even finish misgendering her. Them.
What doesn't count?
Sorry. I was in the
So,
middle of misgendering Rain by saying by herself again. That's all.
oh boy, Bryce is gonna get more eggs for this, isn't he? Bryce is gonna try and take control of the destabilizing conversation as his channel is urging him to try and get everyone to plan well. So, what are we all gonna do to get this done? I know some of you are wanting to track down this one guy, but there's gotta be others here. Who do we have that we can ask to help us track this? I have a couple contacts, but I doubt that'll be enough.
Maybe
I'm sure that there are some things we can do before coming back
Dora gets
together.
this look on her face like, holy shit, I'm an idiot.
Mhm.
So I'm in touch with people who can see the dead normally? Like mediums?
Yep.
Mhm.
If anyone's tried to market to them, then they definitely would know something. Rain, I know that this situation is quite close to you, but perhaps you can ask some of your contacts about this. Surely, if there's something occult going on, there'll be ripples in other places. Mir, I'm sure that there's some other people that you can ask as well for seeing who's been affected. You seem to have a lot of contacts that know things about the drug world. This seems to be new, so someone's got to know where it came from or who started convincing the drug sellers of the area
Hmm.
to start selling this instead of other things. That girl said it was cheap as well. That makes it noticeable. Cheap drugs that do something like this cannot be a good sign. There's got to be something subsidizing it.
And what are you gonna do, Bryce?
Bryce looks a lot more relaxed and he sort of grins. Just leave that to me.
Okay, sounds great, everyone. Looks like we all have something to do.
Indeed.
Out of character, was that okay to do? Or are people feeling alright with that?
Oh,
Oh yeah, sure.
I'm toasty out of character. It's in character that Dora's not pleased by this development.
On that note, I think that is a perfect place to end that scene and tonight's session.
Thank you for running us.
Thanks,
Pleasure as always.
Amy.
I would like to do some post-session stuff so that we can have some fun next week. Could all of you go into the main chat in Wraith and post what your character is going to be looking into? I will then message you back with findings, basic informational stuff. And then next week we can jump into, a scene proper. As a reminder, just like with the last adventure, yes, just like with Pentex, there's bigger stuff going on, but this adventure is not about hunting down the source of pigment and taking down whoever started it.
Taking down the fucking Orpheus Corporation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we can't take down Orpheus? That's like my
'Cause
goal in real life.
I am
Hmm.
not gonna lie, Amy. This session and the plot like totally threw me for a loop. This is not what I thought we would be doing.
Oh, ironically, it's simpler than your characters might think. The prompt for
Oh.
it is there's the ghost drugs that are going around, but the emotional core is this is a local and prominent drug dealer. It's just that he's now slinging ghost drugs in addition to everything else that he's doing.
What I think this session comes down to in a very real way is a big problem that everyone has their own design or emotional link toward, and that's why group cohesion immediately breaks apart. Like the first and second session was substantially more easy breezy and seeing a capitalist versus everyone immediately is want to do what they want to do right now or is suspicious of other person's agendas.
And that's intentional because I always like the first adventure to be I throw you into this session, you guys deal with the problem. And then for future stories, I like to be broader with it. So here's the situation. You guys figure out what you want to do with it. Ultimately, what it comes down to is can 4 ghosts defeat one shitty drug dealer in this small neighborhood? Do they have that power?
I mean, no,
I
the real
mean-
question is, can 4 ghosts defeat their own shadows?
Yep.
And we get past ourselves. But can we get past ourselves long enough to actually defeat this one dude?
This guy.
Who would win? 4 people with the powers of Oblivion on their side, or one guy on drugs?
One green boy.
One green.
One green smelly boy.
And so I know you also wanted to look into the medium thing. In the future, go ahead and post those in the general chat because that's an easier way of me keeping track of it. DMs are good if
just
there's
did
something
so.
you.
Yeah, like you literally started saying that literally as I was about to hit enter on that message.
Oh no, you also said something else separately in DMs, and I wasn't clear on the reason for that.
That's fine. We can talk about that after the session. Yes, I am being mysterious. Yes, that is a bad sign for everyone else's shadow.
I see.
Okay, just on a general note, I do like transparency with the players. I don't see any issues with what you've brought up there. Do keep that in mind for situations where it might turn into PvP-esque situations.
Okay.
Cool. But yes, I think that's a really cool idea, and I'm happy to discuss that with you after session.
Great.
Okay. The thing I was going to talk about. So, right now, the way that it normally works for catharsis is the temporary angst has to be higher than the willpower of the wraith, and I've inferred that means higher than the permanent willpower. I have seen 2 problems with that. One, it is literally impossible for catharsis to happen if you have a permanent willpower of 9. None of you do, but if any of you get to that, I can't do that. My only option becomes either using thorns, or if you don't have thorns, letting it cycle up to 10, turning it into another permanent point, and keep doing that until you eventually lose. The second issue is if your shadow doesn't have any thorns that I can actively use, like Reigns, Catharsis is the only tool I have in my belt. And if I have to wait until we're towards the end of that, that means I can accidentally push you into another point of angst when I don't really want that to happen. So I was thinking of saying catharsis can happen based upon temporary angst versus temporary willpower. It would still roll your permanent willpower to resist the catharsis, but it would mean that if you had 10 permanent willpower and you spent yourself down to 1 and your shadow got themselves up to 3, they could be like, okay, I'm taking control. What do you guys think? That definitely makes it easier for me to do catharsis more frequently.
I
It would
mean,
make us think more about casting our Arcanoi.
I think it makes sense that as they grow stronger and we have bad days or get fatigued with using willpower, they have more of a chance to take the opportunity. That makes sense to me.
I'm okay with it. That just sounds great from my point of view.
Aaron?
Hello, Aaron?
Sorry.
Alright, looks like there
raised the
is
finger for
something
a
that has to
moment.
be
They're up to
addressed.
something.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, cool. All right, so we'll do that. Oh, speaking of angst, did anybody hit a did anybody hit a passion or dark passion during the last scene?
Me, I hit sits again.
Go ahead and roll those 4 dice.
Do you think
Yep.
promising to hurt them counts as a passion complete or not? I think that was what Mia was operating out of quite a lot. What
The
hurt
maledictors.
what hurt the
Oh
maledictors and
dear.
protect the innocent.
Yeah, I think you can make 3 die roll on that one. I feel like that's close enough.
Once or twice, yeah. Maybe.
I feel like it's kind of on the edge for both. Like you weren't actively doing either, but it
Yeah.
hits once, so just roll once.
Okay.
Does a
worth some-
10 do anything really bad if you roll it for angst?
No, because there's no specialization rule for that.
Okay,
for
But
me, I
Jesus,
think-
your shadow does gain 3 temporary angst. Yes.
It is now equal to
Aaron?
my willpower. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's higher than my willpower. So yes, next scene they can take
hell
over if they
yeah.
wish to.
Go
cool.
ahead and roll the memoriam as well. Then.
That's a good point. Everybody should roll Memoriam.
Does Memoriam lower?
No, memoriam will give you more pathos back if at the difficulty of it.
Well, I have all my pathos.
I'll do the bookkeeping stuff once we're off stream.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, if there's something else we need to go over, let's do experience points and then stars and wishes along with outros.
Huzzah.
Okay, so everybody gains 3 XP and your shadow gains 1 XP.
Mhm.
I'm going to do my outro last. So let's start with Al, Blaze, Aaron, Sevatar, and myself.
Okay. This has been Al, he, him, they, playing Mir, she, her. You can. Oh, we doing style wishes right now
Yep.
as well. Okay. You can find me in Amy's server. The link will be in the chat, I assume.
Mhm.
And for stars, I'll go. I'll give Amy the stars for running, as is customary as my right as the first person to speak. And I'll go ahead and give everyone in the group the stars for this session because it feels to me much. It really feels drama feels very slight adversarial in a good way compared to the more united front in the first session. I think for my wishes, I think it is good to have an establishing session where we have a difference in opinion so that we all know where we stand. But I think I do prefer more of a we are a team and we all contribute our parts to get something to work. It's usually probably would be more smoothly run. I think that's me.
Okay, so focus more heavily on the cooperative play in the next session. Blaze.
Great. Hello, this was Blaze playing Bryce, and I'm not really on anywhere else, so you'll catch me here next week. For stars, Star to our storyteller for our Archeon and his cool flower in growing out of face petals, emotives. Star to Owl and Mir for going straight to the we should shank this person and all of the drama that entails with the breaking of a fetter. Lovely drama. Star to Rain for going full parental figure and the drama of the you're not my parents. Those were some really good interactions. Star to Seven Dora for being the responsible one this time and really holding the brain cell and doing a lot of the
The
casting
brain
work.
cell, singular.
I mean, we are a group of four drama-ish people. There is rarely more than one brain cell at a time. Well, 5 drama-ish people, but you know what I mean. But yes, for Dora being responsible and upping the scenes through the more reasonable approach, while the other 3 are kind of going off the rails.
I think I am talking over Rain.
You did.
I apologize.
You're good. Hello everyone. I am Aaron. Pronouns she, they, they. I played Rain this evening. Pronouns they, them. We hit 5 for the she, hers tonight, by the way, for various sources.
From various sources, 2 of which is yours.
If we hit 10 in one section, I think he'll just opens up beneath all the characters.
Oh.
No, beneath all the players.
Yeah.
Beneath all the players, yes. Immediate harrowing.
Let's see. You can find me pretty much everywhere as Great Cthulhu except Twitter. If you want to see my face streaming, I am here on Thursdays playing The Between. And we have wrapped Dune, so I will not say Friday anymore. Yeah, I think that's it for stream stuff currently. Though I will almost certainly be doing other stuff in the future. If you follow me, you'll hear about it. I am loud and on my various social media platforms. Stars and Wishes. Star for Amy for the whole Billy scene. That was very good. Especially I don't owe you anything. What a shitty child thing to say.
It was funny because I was like, I'd come into it thinking that she knew something about Rain, and then when you said, "Oh, she doesn't know anything," I realized, oh, with her personality, she is not going to make the logical leap that Rain is hoping for.
For Blaze, I really love the narc energy. I know it wasn't really narking, but you're like, I need to go tell the Necron right now. We need to like get on top of this. I thought it was a really strong character choice, even though I think my gremlin has to be like, fuck no, we'll deal with it first and then tell him. I thought that was really great, and I really enjoyed that whole scene that I was mostly just listening to. For I appreciate the safety check-in about doing something that might fuck up a long-term relationship with my fetter, because losing fetters is bad. It's real bad. Yeah. For Savitar, I'm gonna parrot what Place said and be like the one functioning brain cell and the moral compass, because Rain was off the rails a little bit for once because they got confronted with something they weren't expecting to deal with and didn't have good control of themselves. And I think had the highest angst of the session currently.
No, I think I
you probably
above
do now,
Bryce.
Blaze, but yeah,
Yeah.
I would say I spiked very hard.
We both spiked. I was
Yeah.
at 0 before this.
I also appreciate that, like, are you sure you're okay? Dora being like, do you want me to do something? It'll hurt. It's like, no, I'm good. Yeah, stars, I wishes rather. Sorry. Wishes, I just wish a little more of the bookkeeping stuff would happen off camera. We don't need to do a lot of that stuff on camera, I don't think. That's it.
Okay, you're referring to like passion and dark passion. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Avatar.
And much like Al, I'm gonna give everyone kind of a group star, because I'm really feeling it, man. Like everyone's like are really messing with everyone, and I love to see it. I'm sorry, I love it. It's so intense, drama fuel. Like, ooh, that's the good stuff, man. Just like every single manifestation of that, whether it's, Bryce just flying off, like panic bureaucracying, to like, um, to Mir just being like, no, we're gonna kill this guy. We need to all be cool with that right now. To Rain be like trying very, very hard to hang on to, their self. Um, it's just really wonderful, like seeing like the shadows like really being a part of the game. Oh, and wishes. I forgot about the wish. Um, echoing what Aaron said. Yeah, like a lot of the bookkeeping stuff kind of slows stuff down. So if we could keep that off camera next time, I'd appreciate that.
Sure, not a problem. Um, Aaron's going to be doing their last one after the session, and then for the rest of them, I'll just say, hey, if during the session somebody realizes they've invoked a passion, just go ahead and get the dice roll ready, say why you think you've done it, and then I'll give you the thumbs up if I think it's good to do that roll. And likewise, the dark passion, I'll try to keep track of it during and call for it immediately if I know what it is.
Cool.
Otherwise, I'll just check in at the end of the session. Does that work for you too, Aaron? Cool. All right. My turn. Everyone, I am Amelia, and I have been your storyteller this evening for Community Spirits. Thank you all for coming, including our raiders. You're all very sweet. You'll be seeing me here again on Thursday, playing in the Between, where I have my extremely fey American. It's a wonderful curse, and I have an even more interesting curse. So I hope you show up Thursday to see what that's going to be. It's going to be a fun role playing challenge. I also have a server, so if any of you like to just find random role playing games to play, anything from a long lost game like Wraith, all the way down to some random little indie game that I fell in love with. We all love Golden Sky Stories. Please come to the server, check it out. I'm always running something. Thank you. Oh, and thank you to Soul and Fires for hosting this podcast, for hosting this Twitch stream. So, my stars and wishes. Star for out for the fortune cookie thing. I thought that was a beautiful way of handling your Arkanoid. Similar to Bryce, I finally got to see Phantom Wings, the Argos, in play. I thought it was great. Just take off and like, nope, I am jogging through the air. Hell yeah, I love that. Savitar, I love the constant. Okay, I was like, I thought this is a lot of use of soul sight. I wasn't prepared for how many questions the book would make me have. That's not on you. That's on the book. I appreciate you being like, I'm gonna find every fucking time I can use this power, and you did.
I'm just trying to do a thing here.
I so strongly appreciate how in the first two sessions it was between me and Bryce and Rain using powers, and this session is almost all Dora going part on you, just cascading all around. That's great. It's strongly uh resonates with how you say earlier about how Dora mainly deals with shadows, not the Skinland. So when it's about shadows, Dora goes hard. But when it's about Skinland, Dora just asks someone to do it for her, please.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, for Aaron, really just seeing you go full out embody 4 and using rot all at once, just big power move for that first scene. That's pretty cool. Next session, my big wish. I want to see you guys do some haunting of the living. I want to see some ghosts haunting those mortal lives. Because in the end, I think that's what we're all really here for. I exaggerate, but I would absolutely love to see you guys do a proper haunting of someone. And hey, you got a perfect victim in mind for it. With that, we're at the end of our session, so I will see all of you next week. Thank you to all of my lovely players. Thank you to all of our lovely followers. Have a wonderful evening and take care.
I'm gonna go ahead and pay the raid forward. We're gonna go raid Dork Tales, I think.
It's gonna be like 40 people jumping into this.
Oh my
It's
god,
fine.
the Raiders should get a star too.
They
The
should get
Raiders
a
should get a
star. Thank
star.
you, Raiders.
They were the real MVPs.
Real RVPs.
Good to have you guys here.
And reading.